This is a Nintendo Switch Lite turquoise model, serial number XJW7 00055155380. This Switch Lite comes to me by way of Gabrielle. She says that it won't power on and it will not charge. The charger had recently broken and that she was using, I believe she said, a Chromebook charger. Now, I'm not sure if that fried any of the charging related chips, but this is a common issue with Switch Lites. So I attempted to charge it up for a while. I did the holding volume up and volume down and power at the same time, and then trying to power on again. Nothing working. There's no charging signal at all. Nothing on the screen ever comes up. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look inside of this. All right, we just took off the back panel of the case or the shell. I got a little more info about this unit. So she took it to a cell phone repair shop. She didn't say what name, but they were very neglectful with what they did. And I noticed that two of the tri-wing screws are missing from the rear shell, and they replaced it with two Phillips heads that were the complete wrong size. Like, it was two of these, which, as you can see, are a much different length. So, very disappointed in how professional they are with that. Also, unrelated, I forgot to point out the actuation on these buttons doesn't quite feel right. So I'm going to take an extra close look at the power and volume switches. It's a little tiny module connected to a little ribbon cable. All right, so I checked this out, and these little dome switches actuate just fine, so it's probably something that needs to be cleaned underneath here to get that to actuate properly again. They do press, so that's all I was concerned about there. Let's give a good once-over on the first layer of the inside of this. Thermal paste is a little messy, but it's there, so I guess that's okay. Noticing a little micro SD card. I think I want to remove that for now. I don't even know what's on it. Might have to look into that. Let's take a look-see. Let's see if we can zoom in. Not seeing anything problematic just yet. I know to the right of the battery is usually it could be a problem with this one right here that goes to the screen, or digitizer, one of the two, but that ribbon cable looks good. You know what? I can go ahead and, flip this open real gently. Flip. Hold on one moment. All right. The good news is there's nothing wrong with that cable there. So that's a yay. So far, I am leaning towards either a bad battery, which is less likely, or it might be a bad IC chip near the charge port, which I would have to flip over to take a look at. So next thing I'll do is I will get this ribbon cable off, unplug the battery, and test the contacts for that. All right, I test the red and black leads and got 4.2 volts, which is above the 3.8 volts. So I guess this battery is good. It has somewhat of a charge. So I guess the next thing is to check the IC chip on the reverse side of this motherboard. There's a bunch to unplug and get off of here, so I will start the video again once I have done that. Also, worth pointing out, the liquid damage indicator, we're good there, so that's a thumbs up. One thing I noticed is that this ribbon cable, I didn't notice it before, this one was disconnected. I didn't even unplug that one. This one right here. I can't off the top of my head recall what component exactly this connects to, whether it's a series of buttons or if so, which buttons it would be. I'll take a look into it. What I want to do is make sure that everything is clean and good around here first before I just plug that back in, put everything back together, and just try to turn it on. I want to try to make sure I cover all bases in a more efficient way. But we'll get back to that. All right, hold on. You might have seen this in the last clip, but I didn't until now. Where are the Wi-Fi antenna cables? I think one is Wi-Fi and one is Bluetooth, if I'm not mistaken. Where are they? I hope they're tucked underneath this motherboard when I remove it. But good Lord, they're gone. They're not here. Okay, indeed they are underneath the motherboard. They're just tucked away. And God knows what contacts, components that these copper heads were contacting. Hopefully nothing was bridged or shorted. Wow. Just wow. I tell you what, if my customer can remember the name of the place she went to, I will be happy to tell customers to stay away. Because, what a mess up. Also, I'm going to have to double check, but this was this was what they were using for the trigger button. It looks like it was cut out of like a sheet. So I was like, oh, we lost it and we replaced it. But this one here was tucked underneath the motherboard, other side of the motherboard, just like these were. Now, the motherboard has the directional buttons still there. We have the contact pad here. And it looks like we have the contact pad here for the home screen. So they put the motherboard over it, secured it, and thought they were missing a button pad. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm taking a look at the charge port, and I see that one pin that looks a little bit funny, a little bit bent. I'm wondering if that's even going to be a problem. I could try to take a close look inside the port if possible with this microscope and see if we can't get a read on what that pin looks like. I was able to get the light in, able to get the light in there better, and I'm seeing that looks clean, it looks okay, and then on the other side also looks pretty clean and pretty okay. So I'm wondering if there is indeed a bent third pin. Maybe I'll check continuity. Alright, taking a look here. Doesn't look so bad. Probably put down some flux and maybe like touch up to reball these pins with a soldering iron if need be. Alright, let's see if I can do this while recording with the other hand. So this, nope, not that one, this one. This chip right here is what I wanted to test for, namely all of the larger rectangular shaped capacitors. That's what they are. I was checking for any continuity shorts in those capacitors. Couldn't find any. That's a good sign. I checked the capacitor down here. That little upside down P, that's a fuse. The fuse is good, so that's a plus. Let's see, there was another point I tested. Oh yeah, right here, above the 6 lined up rectangles, there's that square with what looks like a circle underneath 2 light circles there. Those are filters. I tested the continuity there. That was good. So there's no reason to believe that these MOSFET chips are bad, which is good because they're hard to replace from what I hear. And right off the bat, I don't think I will need to replace the M92 chip here. There is a possibility I will have to. But what I will do to start is I will put some flux on these pins on both sides of the charge connector. I will try to reball all of these connections with solder, clean it up nice, put everything back together the way it was intended to be, and I'll see if we can give this battery a charge. If I can't, then what I will recommend is, aside from the 2 tri-wing screws that were missing, what I will recommend are a new charge port, this piece right here, just swap it out completely, as well as a new M92 chip, and we'll see if that would fix it. But first, let me make sure that all of our solder joints are good and all of our pins are connected. I'm not sure if the pins right here are supposed to move around at all. I was able to push that 4th one back and then easily re-push it back to where it looked like it was sticking out. So I don't quite trust it. I wonder if putting some hot air with flux to it will kind of set it back into place. We'll find out. All right, I got it all back together. Did the hard reset thing. Sorry for the light glare there. Now check this out. I got the volume turned all the way up and the console is powered on. Do you know how I know? We have audio. We just don't have video. So it's either a bad screen or a bad digitizer. I'll have to look into it further. But yeah, looks like we don't necessarily need a new M92 chip. That's good because that's a difficult repair. There's a good possibility this is getting a charge, but we can't see it. So either new screen or new digitizer is going to be the fix. So I will send out that info to the customer right now. In fact, by the time she's watching this, she is hearing these words saying that I'm going to send it to her. How meta. Hooray. Let's rewind. Yep. All right, so I'm a dummy. Remember when I pointed out that this wasn't connected? This little ribbon cable right here, the bottom one? Yeah, I never did bother to plug that back in. So I plugged it back in. Now, without putting it back together, let's see what happens when I click the power button. Would you look at that? I'm a genius. I should start my own business. All right. Let me make sure the charger works here. Plugging it in now. One second. I got the charge message. I'm gonna cut this video. Cut. In action. All right, now let's plug in the charger. One moment. See if I can get this set up correctly. And look at that. It recognizes the charge, and we're at 100%. We're all set. This thing's fixed. Let me just clean up the screen on the outside. Any dirt or stains that can be removed, I'll go ahead and do that. We're done. This thing's fixed. Ding dong diddly done.